everyone. So today I am so excited for today. I have been waiting for this video. I am ready. Today is the first Halloween video of 2021 here on this channel. Anyways, I am so excited because today we're doing our annual halfway to Halloween mantle decorating, where I take you with me as I decorate a spooky mantle to celebrate halfway to Halloween month. And I know if some of you are like, it's not the exact day, Jade. It's not exactly to the date halfway to Halloween. And my answer to that is I know it's not the exact date, but I'm not only gonna decorate my mantle for a day, I'm celebrating the whole month, the whole halfway point until the most magical month of the year, that is October, and that's what we're doing. Although I'm not gonna lie, last year I left it up until we decorated for Halloween, but so that's probably how it's gonna go this year, but that's all right. We're decorating at the halfway point. It's official. Plus, we are celebrating alongside Shudder, which Shudder is the sponsor for today's video, which I'm so excited about because if you've heard me talk about Shudder before, you know I can't get over it. I can't stop. It is an obsession all year round. But if you haven't heard me talk about Shudder before, Shudder is a horror and thriller streaming service. So basically all sorts of spooky content, anything from movies, so blockbuster hits, to cult classics, all different genres of horror, anything you can think of. And they have Shudder exclusives, so horror movies you can only find on Shudder. They also have TV series, documentaries, docu-series. They also have a good old ghoul log, which is one of my favorites, which is just kind of like a Yule log, but it's a ghoul log. It's a jack-o'-lantern, and instead of like crackling fire, it's got like wind and spooky atmosphere sounds. And then throughout April, Shudder is celebrating halfway to Halloween month, so they're going to be releasing all sorts of new content. And they kicked off halfway to Halloween month with a brand new season of Creepshow, which is a series based on the 80s anthology movie. If you've seen the original Creepshow, I love that movie. My husband and I love it. And actually, my husband and I just watched the first episode. We loved season 1, which actually I believe was the most watched series on Shudder. But anyways, we loved season 1, but so far season 2, the first episode was so good. And the thing I like about the series in general, it still has the same feel as the original Creepshow. I feel like it's not trying to be a remake of Creepshow. This really feels like the original Creepshow, but with new stories. Anyways, you definitely gotta check out Shudder, especially during halfway to Halloween month. And Shudder is $5.99 a month or $56.99 a year. But right now you can try Shudder free for 30 days. So that is 30 days free during the entire month. Halfway to Halloween month if you sign up now. You can either click the link down in my description box, or you can go to www.shudder.com and enter promo code JADE. And then once you sign up online, so you do need to go to the website to sign up and get the 30 days free. Once you sign up on the website, then you can stream unlimited spooky content on your iOS and Android phones, as well as Xbox One, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Google Chromecast. I watch it from my Apple TV and love it. So anyways, so excited for Shudder's halfway to Halloween month and Creepshow. Let me know in the comments if you watched Creepshow or anything else that you watched on Shudder, because it is officially halfway to Halloween month and I want to be watching all of the scary movies. Anyways, moving on, it is time to decorate the mantle for halfway to Halloween month, and I cannot wait for you to see the theme this year. So before I babble on any longer, let's get into this. I can't believe it. This halfway to Halloween mantle decorating. Let's do it. Let's go. Here we go. So the first thing I did is I started clearing off my mantle to prepare for our halfway to Halloween mantle. So I took everything down that was left over from my winter mantle. I kind of left things up just in case I wanted to use some of these spooky branchy tree things. Then I went in with my handy dandy Dyson and sucked up any glitter or velvet dust or any dust in general on my mantle and gave it a good wipe down with some Mrs. Meyer's all-purpose spray. And then we had a nice clean slate. So we're ready to start decorating. But first, I got out all of my Halloween decorations. Well, not all of my Halloween decorations. I will say I'm really, really glad that I labeled all of the boxes last year because I knew exactly what was in each box, to where I didn't have to get out all of my Halloween stuff because I had a good idea of kind of what I was going for, what kind of theme I was going for. So I was wanting to go back to a black and white kind of monochromatic theme. Since last year, both on Halfway to Halloween and during Halloween time, I did orange and pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to go back to more of a darker aesthetic and blacks and whites and grays and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going through each box and just pulling what will fit the aesthetic. Luckily, a lot of my darker stuff is left out all year round, but there were some pieces that I had put away. And honestly, going through these boxes and looking at all the Halloween decorations, and even though I didn't use all the decorations, it just felt so good. It's like seeing an old friend. I get all excited and nostalgic, and it was so nice. It gets me all excited for Halloween decor hunting and all the things. So this part was almost as exciting as decorating the mantle itself. It felt so good. Anyways, once I sorted through everything and collected everything I needed, I started putting things up on the mantle, and I started with my number one favorite centerpiece of them all, which is the Headless Horseman. And thanks to you guys out there, I got my Headless Horseman last year. The Headless Horseman is the center of it all once again. I don't know if I'll ever have a different centerpiece, maybe one day, but this is just my favorite. It makes my soul so happy every day to see the Headless Horseman and all of his glory in the center of it all. So anyways, just putting all sorts of things up and just playing around with different things, branchy trees, lanterns, some of these black houses that I got from Target during the holiday season, actually during Christmas time. And then I decided I wanted to put the wreath behind the Headless Horseman. It is the wreath we made last year around Halloween time, and I will link that video in the description box just in case you missed it, but you still wanted to make a wreath similar to this. So I will have that in the description for you. Anyways, just playing around with the wreath and kind of moving things out of the way so you can see more of the Headless Horseman in the center, because I kind of wanted to still see a silhouette. So just moving some things around and then just adding different elements to the mantle. And instead of just doing one big theme, like all skeletons or all vampires or all pumpkins or whatnot, like last year we did jack-o'-lanterns, this year I wanted to do more of just a general smorgasbord of spooky elements, I guess you could say. And honestly, it was kind of inspired by a book we read in Spooky Book Club, where one of the main characters moves into her uncle's oddities museum, and it made me, I don't know what it was about this book. It was called The Hollow Places, by the way, and it made me just like, I was like, I want to have my own oddities museum. But then I was like, wait a minute, I want to have like a spooky like Halloween decoration museum or something. And so that was kind of my inspiration for this mantle, was something that was monochromatic. So there is a theme when it comes to like a color scheme. But as far as the mantle itself, I wanted just a bunch of little knickknacks and I don't know, what do people call these? Tchotchkes. Just little things everywhere, like all different sorts of spooky elements. So I had pumpkins and snakes and little poison bottles and candles and the Headless Horseman, spooky branchy trees, skulls. There's a little Nosferatu that I'll be putting in there. And just putting all sorts of different spooky elements into one mantle. And I'm just playing around with different things, different textures, different heights. But at the same time, I try to keep it balanced. So while it looks like it's just a bunch of stuff cluttered onto one mantle, which is kind of the idea, is just this kind of, I don't know, I feel like this like cluttered oddities museum that's a little bit dusty and spooky and that kind of thing, but it's got Halloween decorations. There's just a lot of elements happening, but I do step back quite a bit and make sure that it's all balanced. So the heights on either side are balanced. There's not too much on one side or on the other side, or there's not too much, like if all the black elements are on one side and then all the gray or white elements are on the other side. I really try to balance it out to where there's a mix of textures and where the variations in tone and all that kind of stuff it's balanced on either side of the mantle, but it does have like it's what do they call it? Organized clutter is kind of what it is, because there is a little bit of a trick to it as far as getting everything to look balanced. And honestly, I just start placing things, like I at least just start getting things on the mantle. So if you're like, I don't even know where to start, I just start getting things on the mantle in general, and then from there start moving things around and adding things, taking things away, playing around with it. There's something about this that's so therapeutic that I don't even mind that I literally sit here for 5,000 hours and just decorate a mantle or go back and forth or take things away, add things, basically just tinkering with Halloween things all day. It's my favorite thing. But I did eventually, like, I think I got to the point where I was staring at it so long that it just, I couldn't see it anymore. I couldn't see the vision. So I stepped away for a minute and started working on the floor area around the fireplace, or in front of the fireplace kind of deal. And down here I continued with the color scheme and had more blacks and grays and all that kind of stuff, and did more of a graveyard feel, and had my little tombstones from Spirit Halloween last year. I have my Hocus Pocus tombstone and my Beetlejuice tombstone. Also I have a couple different little knickknacks down here, some branchy trees, a little bird cage thing, just a couple little spooky things to almost look like a little graveyard, but also stay within the color scheme and the theme and all that kind of stuff. So just making some finishing touches. Also added my little sheep, my little black sheep in there and things like that. All right, so now back to the mantle. Now that I've taken a little bit of time away from it, I was able to visualize things a little bit better and took away some areas that just looked like they were getting a little, like, this is supposed to look cluttered, but it was just too much. Like, you couldn't really see even what was on the mantle, which I know is going to happen anyway with all the things, but some of the branches in the background were really distracting from other things. And so I just kind of took some things away, added some things, and also some of the bulkier things I removed so I could add a couple more elements, because I felt like there wasn't quite enough. Like, I wanted to incorporate more witchy things, and then some crows and a Nosferatu statue. So some of the items were just too big to where I wasn't able to fit in. Like, I really wanted that feel of kind of like a spooky museum with all different types of spooky things. And also just to kind of break up the different heights, I did add things like little candles, like 3-wick candles. I just put the lids on and use those as pedestals. So if you run out of pedestals, or you don't have any pedestals, but everything's looking kind of just like it's all one height and you're wanting to mix it up, I love using 3-wick candles as pedestals, or sometimes coasters, or I try to get creative with it, little boxes, anything I can find around the house if I run out of pedestals to work with or I don't have any. But yeah, anyways, still working on this mantle and getting everything just the way I like it. So here I'm done tinkering with the mantle, and I'm putting on some finishing touches, which really is just this spooky, or what are these called? Creepy cloths. This one is from Target. It's a gigantic creepy cloth. So I love to get my creepy cloths from Dollar Tree every year, but this one, it was worth the extra money to get the large one from Target for the mantle. It's just on a whole other level. It always takes my mantle to just a whole other spooky dimension, especially since a lot of this like stuff in my house is more modern. It kind of just gives it a little bit of a different vibe, just brings it to a darker place. And I just drape it and tuck it under the heavier items on the mantle, so anything that will definitely hold it. I don't pin it under any lighter items or items that could slide off. That would be bad. So I definitely tuck it under the heavier items and kind of just make it look more drapey and twist it around and give that spooky factor. So that's pretty much it. We are done with our halfway to Halloween mantle, and I feel like it's already done. It's already over. This is it. I feel like that went by so fast, but I'm so excited. It feels so good. I love getting up and drinking my coffee every morning and looking at my spooky mantle. So anyways, that is it. I'm going to continue to show some clips of the mantle during the day and also at night, so you can see it all lit up. So just enjoy the show. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you could give it a thumbs up. Say, hey, ghoul, hey, down in the comments, because you know I love talking to you. Also, let me know down in the comments if you are decorating anything for halfway to Halloween, whether it's your room or your office or a little bathroom or a mantle, or maybe you're doing a spooky halfway to Halloween tree. Whatever it is that you're doing, let me know in the comments, or any other way that you're celebrating. But yeah, happy halfway to Halloween, my spooky friends. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.